Yo, what's good, guys? It is 1:19 in the morning Eastern time. A little bit late tonight. This is usually a midnight stream. If this happens to be your first time catching me live here on the midnight show, Saturday, it's a monster day for hoops, guys. This is as good as it gets. And tomorrow, well, I guess today, in particular, is just one of the craziest slates I've seen. We have some huge matchups. We have rivalries. We have this. We got that. I'm gonna try to get through this as quick as I can, and on Thursdays and Friday, sometimes like a Tuesday, we can get through every single game in better detail. Today, I'm just gonna be flying. I'm gonna give you guys some locks. We're gonna put our live stream parlay in. But there's no way I can go over every game, so it's probably mostly going to be Power 5 basketball. There's just no way I can get through every game on Saturday. So I'm going to be skipping over a lot of stuff for the Saturday streams in particular. We got to update the whiteboard as well. So this was the lock we came up with last night. It fell a little bit short. Iowa State kind of likes to play that game when they're winning, to continue to foul the opponent and not let up the three-pointers. So we were hoping for a couple free throws at the end. It didn't get us over the hump. They only won by 2, so we will fall to 7-6, still above 500 with our locks. And what was the live stream parlay last night? It was Iowa at plus 119, and I think we did hit the live stream parlay. Let me double check Akron basketball. They won by 7. So we cash another live stream parlay. This one came in at plus money, plus 119. So let me update the whiteboard. We'll update both of those, and we'll start digging into Saturday. All right, so our live stream parlays are now 3 and 4, and our locks are at 7 and 6. Let's build on it, guys. Let's get to it. Let me pull up everything I need here, and let's just start going through these games. So this is gonna be like a speed round. This is gonna be out of control. I hope I have the energy. A little bit late night here. I was distracted tonight. First game on the slate is Virginia Tech and Miami. Like a good one just to start things right off. Virginia Tech, Miami. Miami's laying 2.5 at home. I lean Miami. They're stronger at home. We saw them lose on the road to NC State, and Virginia Tech's had some good wins at home. I still got to lean on the roster here. The roster for Miami is just better. Nigel Pack, Poplar, they just have better players. I can't lock this one up, but Miami minus 2.5 is the way I'd look at home. Maybe even just play them on the money line. Take that 2.5 points out of there. Virginia Tech will probably be competitive in this game. The only thing that is not going to allow this game to be a lock is how public it is. I mean, all the money's on Miami. So I just a short favorite at home, huge public bet, first game of the day. I just can't lock it up. Next game, Arkansas, LSU. How do you bet this? Because what are you going to get from Arkansas? Are they going to go on a little run here and try to salvage their season? Or are they going to just regress right back to what they were for most of the season and get killed here? There's no way to know. There's no way I'd bet this game. I would lean Arkansas with the points if I think they're going to show up with their A game for sure. They're a live dog if they want to win this game. I just don't know what we're going to get out of Arkansas. So I got to pass. Penn State, Indiana, the spread is not available for some reason here. So I'm going to keep on scrolling by. South Carolina at Georgia is very, very interesting. South Carolina is a 1.5 point underdog on the road. I guess you side with home court advantage in this one and play Georgia on the money line at minus 125. No strong opinion on that game. And anyone who says they have a strong opinion on that game, that's a coin flip. That's going to come down to the wire next game. Wichita State and Memphis, 10.5 seems a bit heavy. Memphis, boy, they look so good for a large part of this season, but just lately, I don't know. Wichita, not the Wichita of years past either. program used to be really, really good. You could always count on them if they were like a 12 seed in the March Madness tournament to probably pull off an upset. At Memphis, I don't know. I lean Wichita getting the points, but I can't do it there. Kansas State on the road, and it's a pick 'em. The odds are dead even. They go to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State got the monkey off their back, beating West Virginia at home. How many games has KSU lost in a row here? 4 or 5? Jerome Tang, man, he's overrated. Not a good coach. They got wiped out by Oklahoma on their home floor last game, lost by 20. They lost to Houston and Iowa State prior to that, which is totally fine because those two teams are really, really good. Some of the best in the Big 12. But guys, on their home court, they barely escaped with a win over the same Oklahoma State team. They were down at halftime by 4, came back in the second half. They won by 4. Now they're at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's been playing better lately. Kansas State's been playing worse lately. Give me Oklahoma State on the money line at home. Let's lock this up. Let me go ahead and update this, and we'll start working on our locks. So we're going to go OK State on the money line. Let me save that. Get that on the screen for you guys. Oklahoma State on the money line is our first lock. Pretty excited about that one. I think that's a pretty good spot. A lot of money on Kansas State. A lot. Everyone's saying there's no way Kansas State's going to lose another. No way they could possibly lose another game. I don't know. Northwestern at Minnesota, a 2:00 game. Same thing. It's a pick'em game. I don't know, because Northwestern's a public play. I love what I've seen out of Northwestern. I watched the entire Purdue game. I think Northwestern is frustrated. I could see him putting up a good effort here. But Minnesota's just different at home, so I'm really torn what to do. I can't quite lock this one up because they're a road team, but I strongly lean Northwestern on the money line. I just can't quite get there. If this was at Northwestern, this is a blowout. This is a huge blowout. I like this situational spot for Northwestern. I think they're very frustrated. The technical fouls, the overtime loss, everything that happened at the end of that Purdue game. I could see him coming out here with some energy, but it's a road game. Minnesota's good at home. Northwestern's a public play. I just don't want a public underdog. I'm not going to lock it up. Next game, Marquette and Georgetown. Spread's 12.5. Boy, that seems like a lot of points, doesn't it? 12.5. Georgetown at home over Marquette. Marquette very lucky that Tyler Kolek had a career game. Otherwise, they would have lost outright to Villanova. On the road in the Big East at Georgetown, they're going to cover 12.5. I'm tempted to almost lock this up. A lot of money on Marquette. Oh, man, what do we do? Do we lock this up? What do we do here? Do we lock this one up? I mean, I'm tempted, man. Georgetown catching 12.5. I think we lock this up. Yeah, yeah. We're locking this up. Let me go ahead and edit this. We're going to add in Georgetown catching 12.5. 12.5. That's too many. 12.5 is too many. I don't care. It's too many. Can't do it. Sorry, Marquette. You guys will probably get the win. I'm taking 12.5 points. Next game, very interesting. 2:00 Eastern time. Virginia on the road at Clemson. The way Clemson lost that Duke game will make a lot of people throw up. At home, I mean, they blew an overtime game to Georgia Tech, but Virginia's not the same team on the road. If this was at Virginia, oh my God, this is a smash spot. I think I got to go Clemson. 4.5. It seems like taking the points with Virginia is a no-brainer, but I think I got to go Clemson here. It's a Saturday 2 p.m. game at home. Virginia's defense, I don't know if it travels as well. Their recent road games in the ACC, Notre Dame, Louisville, lower end ACC talent. This is a different animal. On the road at Clemson, I got to lean Clemson, and I'm tempted to lock this up. Clemson minus 4.5. Boy, I hope we don't get screwed by the hook or something, but I think we're going to lock this up. Are we going to lock up Clemson? Are we going to really do that? I can't do it. Next game. Strong lean on Clemson at home. Next game. Texas at TCU, another one. It's like, what do you do? 4.5 points. Texas on the road at TCU. TCU's obviously favored 4.5. We've seen TCU put together some good performances lately. 4.5 is a tricky spot, man. Texas is pretty desperate. They really, really do need to stack these wins. This is a good opportunity, but I fear that TCU's athleticism is a problem. Texas is a team that can kind of punk certain teams. They can kind of bully certain teams. I think this is a bad matchup. I feel like it's a sell high spot on TCU, which scares me a little bit. Spread of 4.5. Something just screams to me that it's a 5-point game with 5 seconds left. Texas hits one last shot, covers the number. TCU gets out of there with a win. TCU has a pile, a ton of close wins. I'm just gonna go ahead and move on from this game. There's no way I can. My gut tells me take the points, take the 4.5 with Texas. I'm not gonna do it. It's very, very hard to go with a road team in the Big 12. It's a suicide mission. You got to stay away from it the best you can. Next game here, Utah State at San Diego State, and this just really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. 17 in the country. I mean, this is starting to get out of control. Utah State is not 17 in the country. That's out of control, and I think it comes down to earth. San Diego State, I think we locked this up. This is a 3:30 Eastern time game. Utah State, 17 in the country? Seventeen in the country. I can't do it. I think we're gonna lock up. San Diego State here. Let me edit the banner. We'll add in another lock. San Diego State laying 5.5 points. Pretty hefty number against number 17 in the country, but I think that's for a reason. I think a lot of people are going to see, oh, wow, 17 in the country, and I get 5.5 points. I think it's a trap for sure. So we're up to 3 locks so far. Next game is Missouri at Vandy. That's a must win for Missouri. I'm not taking them. They burnt me against Arkansas. I'm done. I won't bet against them because I know their potential. I watched like that Kansas game. They looked pretty good. They have potential. I'm not betting on them. I'm not betting against them. Next game, Oklahoma Sooners on the road at UCF, laying 1.5 points. We've seen the Sooners struggle in certain situations, not quite closing the deal in some games. But they did get over the hump in the last one, absolutely put it on Kansas State. But UCF should have beaten Baylor. UCF should have gotten by Baylor in their last game. This just makes absolutely no sense to me. I know Oklahoma's, a ranked team, but this makes no sense to me. The spread's 1.5. And we're absolutely going to lock this up. This is beyond a lock. This is an absolute lock. Yeah. This is an absolute lock. Let me add that. Lock number 4. We're up to 4 locks. UCF at home. I'm taking the 1.5 because money line is greedy. There we go. Next game, Houston at Kansas. I've been waiting for this game. I've been watching a lot of obviously being a graduate of West Virginia, 50% of what I absorb in the college basketball world is Big 12. I'm obsessed with it. I watch a lot of it. I watch almost all of it. And I've been watching a lot of Kansas, and this team is soft and gutless. This is not the typical Bill Self team. They have no depth. Kansas is not good. This is not a good basketball team. 8 in the country is completely out of control. It's disrespectful to other teams. I'm not a hater. Okay. I'm not a Kansas hater, but this team stinks. And when I say that, it's comparative to the usual Jayhawks team. I know Saturday afternoon in Lawrence is a brutal place to show up as a road team. Houston is they're just too physical. They're grown men. Hunter Dickinson, he's going to get absolutely schooled in this game. Kansas is going to get out rebounded so badly that Kansas offense completely disappears. I mean, falls off the face of the earth when they get pressure. So what? McCullough's going to put everyone on his back and try to drop 30 against the Houston defense? It's not going to happen. They're going to struggle big time. They just don't have the bodies. They're just not physical enough. The spread's 1.5 and it's too light. I'm going to go ahead and take Houston on the money line at -125. I'm not going to mess with the points. But one thing I would consider is an alternative spread. Not only Houston to cover at 1.5, but maybe like take Houston minus like 4.5. I think they win this comfortably. Let me add them to the locks. We're just going to put in the money line because that's what you would do if you're just a smart traditional bettor and not being greedy. But I really can't. I mean, Houston money line tomorrow has me drooling. They are a nightmare for Kansas. And I know that I'm very familiar with the statistics and everything going on over there in Lawrence. I don't care. Florida, Texas A&M, 4:00 Eastern time. Florida just beat Kentucky. Now they're a 3.5-point underdog. The same spread underdog they were at Kentucky. They're now the same underdog at Texas A&M. That tells me all I need to know. I'm going to lock up Texas A&M. I don't trust Florida to put together 2 games of that quality. This is a system play. I'm just thinking like an odds maker. There's no reason that they should have beaten Kentucky and should be an underdog by this margin, but they are, and I'm going to go with Texas A&M in this spot. Give me the Aggies. Rutgers, Michigan, strong lean to Michigan, but I won't bet them. I'm just not going to bet Michigan. Very, very strong lean to Michigan -3.5. Let's keep scrolling here, guys. Let's keep working through this slate. There's so many games tomorrow to make your head spin. Truly, truly crazy stuff. I'm not going to talk about some of these lesser teams. I'm just going to keep scrolling. Colorado and Utah, I'll briefly talk about here. Love Utah at home. Money line. Screw the 2.5 points. Lay -138 on the money line. I'd lean Utah, but there's no way I'm locking it up. Next game. The Pac-12 in general, just I don't know. Maryland at Michigan State. This one's very interesting. Spread 6.5. My gut says Maryland. But Maryland has just let me down a couple times. I worry about their ability to close the game out. I think they're a live dog. I think they can win the game outright. I think they can upset Michigan State. There's just no way I can. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to go against Michigan State at home. But there's no way I'd bet. There's no way I'd be laying 6.5 points against Maryland. Georgia Tech at NC State. Okay, I mean, we see Georgia Tech. They beat UNC. UNC was half asleep in that game. NC State, they've picked up some wins. Better at home. 7.5. And it's just so ugly. I'm just going to pass on this game overall. BYU, number 22, going on the road to Morgantown in West Virginia at 6 p.m. I can assure you a 6 p.m. game at the Coliseum in Morgantown will be quite an environment. And that's going to hurt BYU's chances to cover this spread. BYU is going to get the job done. I mean, West Virginia now has home wins over Kansas, Texas, and Cincinnati. I really feel like BYU is going to put it on them. I think people are starting to pay too much attention to West Virginia's home splits, and I get it. Like I've told you guys a billion times, I went to school there. Like, I love West Virginia. They're just not a good basketball team, and I know they get up for these home games, and I know that they beat Kansas, and they beat Texas, and they beat Cincy, and they're just so much better at home. And this is a big 6 p.m. Saturday night game. I mean, it's going to be, 12, 13,000 people in there, maybe more. Maybe they'll pack it out. I lean BYU. They're just significantly better here. I think they take care of business. There's no way I'm going to bet against West Virginia at home, though. After what they've been doing, there's no way I can do it. It's BYU or pass for me, and it'll be a pass for me. Let's keep scrolling here. Florida Atlantic, not interested. It's a 17.5 point spread. Who cares? Auburn at Ole Miss, laying 3.5. Just a fishy line. This just makes no sense to me. I feel like it should be 6.5, 5.5, 6.5. It's 3.5. Auburn 16 in the country. They smacked Vandy around in their last game. On the road to Ole Miss, only laying 3.5. I feel like this is a live dog. I feel like this is an upset. I feel like Ole Miss is going to win the game. I'm tempted to lock up Ole Miss plus 3.5. Ole Miss plus 3.5 at home. What do we do? Let's do it. Let's add them. You got to take stuff that makes no sense. Ole Miss plus 3.5 at home. Lock it up. Can't do it. And I was on Auburn over Vanderbilt. I just can't do this. Cincinnati on the road at Texas Tech. This is very, very interesting. Well, Cincinnati wasn't able to win in Morgantown. Okay. Blew the game at the end. Now they're on the road at Texas Tech, a Texas Tech team that just lost, kind of reset their competitive spirit. Texas Tech is good. Pop Isaacs. They got some players over there at Texas Tech. Now they're at home. Cincinnati, I think they're often. I mean, the total, first of all, I don't really go over totals much. 142 is probably too high. Cincinnati's not going to score above 65 in this game. There's just no way. I think Texas Tech D is going to be better here. They're off of a loss. 4.5. I mean, Cincy is big. They can rebound. They're scrappy. We saw them hang in there and cover a spread against the Jayhawks on the road. They hung in there with West Virginia. They took an L. They were favorited, but they hang in these games. I'm a little bit worried about laying 4.5, but I'm absolutely going to do it here. I think we lock this up. I think we're taking Texas Tech here. I think we got to lock this up. I'm mad in it. Texas Tech minus the 4.5 at home. Another one, guys. Another lock. We are piling up the locks for Saturday. Big slate. Duke, North Carolina. I am not locking this up. The line, it's fishy. The line is fishy. End of story. 4.5. Duke lost at home to Pitt. Duke was very fortunate to get by Clemson at home. Now they're on the road against the Tar Heels. Tar Heels off of a Georgia Tech loss. But it's only 4.5. I thought just all the situational things coming together. I thought the Tar Heels would be favored by like 7, 6.5, 4.5. It's just fishy. It just doesn't make sense to me. And because of that, I'd lean Duke. Rivalry game, I lean Duke in the points, man. Yeah, I agree, Scott. Texas Tech, man. You got it. They're off a loss. They're at home, man. Absolutely. Absolutely, I agree. And this North Carolina game, I just, the spread seems too light. It doesn't make sense to me. Rivalry game, I'm taking the points with Duke. But there's no way I'm betting that game. No way. Oregon State, USC. I mean, USC is going to get right in this game. Do they cover 7.5? I don't know. They're gonna get right. I'm telling you right now, USC wins the game. There's no doubt about it. 7.5 USC they just don't impress me. I can't do it. Strong lean at USC. If it was 4.5, 5.5, I'd feel way better about it. 7.5, having to win by 8. I still think they cover. I still lean USC here, but I just can't do it. I just can't do it. But if you're gonna do a parlay tomorrow, USC minus 320 on the money line, that's a great leg to add in there. They're gonna take care of business. They will get that win. Florida State, Louisville, 2 bottom feeders of the conference, not interested. Iowa State, Baylor, here's a great one. I think this is kind of a sell high spot on Iowa State. Great team, wonderful at home. I really like them. I think they could be a big surprise in the March Madness tournament. They could definitely go far. Where will they be seated? I don't know. They might end up being like a 3. I mean, they're a good team. On the road against Baylor. Baylor toughed out that win at UCF. Now they're back home. I can't see Baylor losing this game. Baylor's the better team. I'm a little bit worried about the game being super close, but I don't care. I'm going to lock this up. I'm going to lock up Baylor at home. I have to do it. I have to add Baylor in it here. Home court, Big 12. They had those losses. What was it? 3 in a row. Got right against UCF. Now they're at home. I just maybe just a couple of free throws at the end to help us out and get past the number. I'm going to lock up Baylor. And then I'll for sure be looking to bet Iowa State immediately after. If Baylor does pull that game off and they do take care of business, Iowa State off that loss will be a good spot to wager. So keep that in mind as well. Tennessee and Kentucky. This one doesn't make sense to me either. We just saw Kentucky recently got upset in overtime by Florida. Now they got Tennessee in town. I like Kentucky here. I like Kentucky to win the game in an upset. The spread's only 1.5, but we're going to lock up Kentucky here. And we're going to take the 1.5. We're going to take them on the spread. We're not going to go money line. Never know if that 1 point will save you. But we're absolutely going to take Kentucky to not let up 2 big losses at home. I think they get the job done here. I think Kentucky wins the game outright and beats Tennessee. Mississippi State on the road at Alabama. No interest here. The spread is 8.5. Seems a little bit heavy, but Alabama's the better team. So it's like, okay, well, I don't want to go against Alabama at home, but I don't want to lay 8.5. I'm passing on that game. Washington State, Washington. I have absolutely no opinion on this game. It's a pick 'em, flip a coin. Who freaking knows? I lean Washington because it's a rivalry and they're on their home court. Other than that, it's a toss-up. What else we got? Oregon, UCLA at 10 p.m. Eastern time. I think I like UCLA at home. Oregon has gotten a little bit of a spark lately, but I don't know. They just pulled off that win at USC. Now, do they pull off a win at UCLA? I'm not so sure. I lean UCLA at home. No real opinion. And to round this thing off, to finish this thing off, 10:30 Eastern time, Saturday, St. Mary's plus 4.5 points at Gonzaga. This is not the same Gonzaga team we're used to. 4.5 points. We watched San Francisco go to Gonzaga and cover. Can St. Mary's keep this within 4.5 points? I'm pretty sure these two already played, did they not? I got to double check for this last game. Thought they might have already played. Gonzaga. No, they have not. They have not. Interesting. They'll play again on March 2nd, the last regular season game of the year. These two will play again. So Gonzaga knows that. You got to play this team twice. You can't lose both matchups. You got to get your home court win. I lean Gonzaga at home. But 4.5, it just I have a weird feeling that somehow St. Mary sneaks in there and covers that number. Maybe Gonzaga escapes with a win. I'm not going to bet this team. Gonzaga is not the team that they've been in the years past, and they're still good enough to where I don't want to go against them, especially at home. So that's the entire slate, guys. How many locks do we have? Holy cow, we got to do our live stream parlay too before I leave here. Wow, that's a bunch. That is a bunch of points. Scott says St. Mary's, I say, will cover. Like you said, the Zags are a much different team than in years past. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Solid team. They got to play each other twice. Hard to believe Gonzaga isn't well aware of that and make sure that they take care of business at home. But with a spread of 4.5, this could always be a 6-7 point game. You know, few seconds left, junk time. Gonzaga's like, just don't foul him, let him shoot. The game's over. And you know, St. Mary's puts up one last shot at the buzzer just for shits and giggles, and they hit a bank three, right? End up losing by 3 or 4 points type of a thing. There's no way you can bet this game. Let's go ahead and get to this parlay, though. If we cash tonight's parlay, we'll move back to 500 with the parlays. And as I remind everybody in all these videos, the parlays are the least serious thing that we do here. The whole stream in general is just kind of for fun. The locks are a little bit more serious, though. I mean business with the locks. We're going to continue to build on this. Hopefully, all the locks going across the bottom of the screen should be a good day tomorrow. If you guys want my best bets, stuff I already bet personally, or if you already are a member here on YouTube, I posted on the community tab. So, guys, if you're a member and you're looking for my plays tomorrow, I did post everything that I wagered so far. So after this live stream, just click on the home part of my YouTube and just scroll over the community tab. And you'll see all the wagers there. If you're interested, if you're not a member, go ahead and become one. It's $30 an entire month. It's beginning of the month, February 3rd today. Get the whole rest of February leading up to March Madness. So something to consider if you're interested in that. But let's get this parlay done. What are we doing? We have so many games to cook up a parlay. Usually it's much more simple. I think we'd be a little bit more bold today. The last parlay that we hit last night was plus 119, so it was a plus money wager. I think we go for like a plus 200 here. Let's start this off. Boy, how risky do we want to get? We could get really risky with this. God, I think we go TCU money line. They're favored 4.5 at home over Texas. TCU on the money line. Do we throw that in? I think we have to. Throw that in the mix. San Diego State on the money line is absolutely going to be in the parlay. Throw that in the mix. Boy, a lot of these games that I like are actually super close spreads. Like I like Houston. I like UCF. They're like 1.5 point spreads. So are we really going to like throw these into the live stream parlay? I don't know. Butler really surprised you today? Yeah. Butler Butler cost me a shit ton of money. I had them. They were the last leg of the ladder challenge as well. Only needing the money line. Absolutely disgusting. Favorite 12.5 at home. And they just the turnovers and 13 in the country. I mean, they're immediately on the ban list. I'll never bet them again. I will bet against them if the opportunity is right, but I will never bet on Creighton again. They're just so gutless. It's just pathetic. So I'm already at plus 118 for the parlay. TCU and San Diego State on the money line. Let's find a couple more things to throw in here. Texas A&M on the money line. Let's throw that in over Florida. Do we have one more? We're already at over plus 200, guys. This is gonna be a pretty juicy parlay for this one. Do we have one more we can throw in? Oh, USC. I think we'll throw in USC. Where was that game? USC. Where was that? Oh, Texas Tech at home as well. Do we throw in Texas Tech money line? Yes, we do. We could throw in UNC money. No, I'm going to throw in USC money line. All right, guys, this is crazy. Let me go ahead and put it on the screen. The live stream parlay tonight. It is crazy, crazy, crazy. TCU money line. TCU money line. San Diego State money line. Texas A&M money line. Texas Tech money line. And USC money line. Guys, this comes out to plus 598. $100 wager would win almost $600 in profit. Be smart. But there we go. There's the live stream parlay. So keep in mind, guys, the record we're keeping with the parlays is currently 3-4, but this is the kind of stuff that we come up with sometimes. So don't expect the live stream parlays to be hitting it like 70%. We'll see if the locks tomorrow can get us a little bit better. That's pretty much it, guys. Make sure you hit the like button before you do exit out of the stream, and just double check and make sure you subscribe to my channel. So anytime I come on here and post some content, it'll let you know when I do. Good luck tomorrow with your wagers. See you in the next video.